most of us.
6 in a row. They've yet to lose on home ice. Paul Holmgren obviously has got this team playing well and disciplined hockey. What's he telling his team?
Well, I think he's telling his team very similar things that Terry's telling his team. He's going to be telling them, look, guys, let's forecheck. Let's get it going in our home rink. And I think if he tells them that, they're going to force a lot of turnovers. But both teams, I think they're going to feel each other out at the start of the period. But come the end, I think there could be a really big ending to this game because of both teams. The Flyers, if they score, it's going to be tied. If the Caps get that go-ahead goal, they're going to be up by 2. So I think that next goal is really key.
And, you know, I can't help but think with some of the comments made here at the pregame skate this morning from both the coaches. These two teams very similar, and we've seen that here for 40 minutes of play.
That's exactly right. And I think the big thing is it's who's going to win in the trenches. And the trenches are those one-on-one battles along the boards and the corners. They're the ones that I think are going to determine this outcome of this game. The team that wins the most in the trenches will win.
Well, stay tuned. Should be an interesting third period here from the Spectrum. You'll see all the action live and exclusively on WDCA.
Everyone knows about my expansive vocabulary and the delineations I take with language. I went to electrocution school. So when I say the wrong thing at the right time, it's funny, but only because I'm in control. But if you're drinking and you start talking like me, then it's a good inclination that you're not in control, and that's not funny. You see, responsible drinking is as easy as knowing when to say the right thing at the right time. To know when to say when. And hey, even I could say that.
A reminder from Budweiser.
Some people play by different rules. Look at Jim Moran. In 1984, while Jim Moran served on city council, he was a secret business partner with a developer who brought business before the council. Moran was found guilty of conflict of interest, sentenced, forced to resign. You thought he might have learned. But recently, Moran was found taking gifts from another developer who sought favors from the city. Won't Jim Moran ever learn?
Cos'è questa cosa qua? Mi sembra una cosa veramente strana.
It's a hot new 35mm camera from Canon.
It's just a camera.
Sembra sospetto.
The Canon Fotura.
Camera.
With futuristic flash, automatic one-hand control, and long-range power zoom lens. Fotura.
You have to come with us.
It's just a camera.
Please.
The new Fotura from Canon. So advanced, it's simple.
How does a computer work?
Wires, I guess. I'm not sure.
Well, how does Giant's Apples for the Students program work?
You have to go to Giant food stores, and then you have to buy stuff, and then they'll give you a receipt. Then you can collect them and then give them to your school.
Okay, and then what happens?
And then they'll give you an Apple computer.
A little thing like this can cause your brakes to fail. So when I do a brake job, I never fail to inspect it. At Meineke, nothing is unimportant.
Tonight's Capitals hockey game is sponsored in part by your Nissan dealer, who invites you to test drive the all-new Sentra. Giant Food, we care about quality and value. We care about you. Providence Savings, solid service, solid rates, and solid strength make Providence the solid choice in banking. And by Canon, so advanced, it's the world's leader in 35mm photography.
We're back here at the Spectrum in Philadelphia on WDCA, Caps coverage. And let's quickly get you caught up to date before the start of period number 3 here on our Giant Food scoreboard. Second period, New Jersey ahead of the Islanders 7-1. And a pair of goals tonight for Troy Crowder, Danico, Stastny, Seeger, and Morris have scored the other goals, along with Peter Stastny. Crowder had a goal in the first period, one in the second. Wood has scored the lone goal for the Islanders. Second period, Montreal over Pittsburgh by a score of 3-2. Savard has his 5th in that one, and Fedorov has a pair for the Red Wings as they lead the Vancouver Canucks 6-0 in the second period at the Joe Louis Arena. Later on tonight, Calgary Flames and the Los Angeles Kings.
They just they've awarded the goal to Kevin Hatcher. He actually did take the shot. I thought it went off Gord Murphy's stick right over Liut. I saw Michael Pavanka at the end of the period go over the penalty box and say, guys, look, it didn't hit my stick. I would have liked to have got it, but it went directly in off Gord Murphy's stick in over Reagan.
So Kevin Hatcher gets the goal. And that is his third of the season, his second of the night. The Capitals lead by 1 with play underway now here in the third period. Puck cleared into the Washington end. Coming out of his net, Layut, who steers it along the boards. Lotto from the point. His shot wide. Craven backhands one towards the net. Caps intercept. Along the right wing. Here is Leach with Kelly Miller and Mike Ridley. On the near board, steers it ahead. Nobody there, and Rick Tocchet comes back for the Flyers. Centering pass for Craven. Tied up by Hatcher on the play. Tip to Lotto along the near side of the neutral zone. Lotto feeding Eklund. Eklund in over the line. Eklund being chased by Lawler. Gets it back to the point. Murphy's drive deflected by Lawler wide. Tocchet centers it right out of the stick of Mike Ridley, who clears it off the boards into the neutral zone. Hoffman ahead to Craven. Flyers will have to re-enter the zone again. Flipped by Craven. Both teams change on the fly. Mike Lawler from the side of his net to Hatcher, who steers it down into the Flyers zone. Mellanby comes all the way behind Chychrun to retrieve the puck for the Flyers. To Hoffman. Hoffman wraps it off the boards to Kjell Samuelsson. On the far side to Mellanby, who steers it into the neutral zone. The Caps right there to turn it away. Here comes Sutter in over the line. Sutter fires his shot. Pad save made by Layut. The rebound all the way back to the blue line. And Kjell Samuelsson steers it off into the corner. Mellanby turns, puts it right out of the stick of Calle Johansson with a fine defensive play in front of Mike Layut. He feeds it ahead to Pivonka. Pivonka fires it towards the net. It is blocked by the Flyers. And back comes the Philadelphia attack. In over the line. Along the board. Mellanby. Turned around by Pivonka. Pivonka still with that puck. Andy Van Helmen right there trying to stay out of the way. They tie it up. And Dale Hunter has it stolen off his stick. Backhanded towards the net by Derek Smith. But right there for the Washington Capitals, to clear it away was Hatcher, who gets it ahead to Hunter with Bondra. Dale Hunter in over the blue line. Puts it off the boards behind Ken Regan. Tees it up for his defense.
The Capitals really eliminating the man in their own zone. Letting the pass, they're not letting the passes get through. They eliminate the man, pin him against the boards. That way the Capitals can break out of the zone.
Tatarnov feeding along the left wing boards. Tippett clears it ahead to Bondra. Hunter out there as well on this forward unit. As Tatarnov skates quickly back to the Capitals bench. Lawler back on. Bob Rouse pinching in. Rouse to Tippett. Back to Rouse. Back to the point to Lawler. Lawler's drive just wide. Hunter from the near boards. Bondra's turned around behind the net. Puck comes loose to Rouse. Cross ice for Lawler. Lawler winds up, deflected off into the open corner. Flyers steer it ahead, but not out. Now Derek Smith does get it out. Clears it rink wide. Lacombe to Murphy, who pinches in and drives it behind the net. Keith Acton being chased there by Rouse. Dale Hunter comes back. Clears it around the boards. Both teams changing here on the fly. Kyprios misses a check, and the puck is fired in the Flyers zone. Crowd comes to life. Their Flyers trail 3-2 here as you watch Caps hockey on WDCA. First of 5 straight road games for the Capitals. Puck backhanded into the Washington end, and here comes Kevin Hatcher for the Caps. Being chased by Berube. Skates away. On the backhand, the puck dumped into the neutral zone. Huffman gets it to Samuelsson. Tipped by a Capital. Calle Johansson gets it to Rob Murray. Murray heads off to the bench, and the Capitals are forced to play back into the Flyer end.
Both teams standing them up at either blue line. That forces both teams to keep dumping it in, forcing their defense to get back and retrieve the puck.
Eklund is turned around to the Capitals blue line by Langway. Kelly Miller does the job defensively, wraps it around the boards for Ridley, and he clears it all the way back down into the Flyer zone. Yuri Lottle being chased there by Stephen Leach. Gets it on the left wing for Craven. Craven circles in front of his own net to Samuelsson. Rink wide for Eklund. He tips it all the way back down to the Washington end. This one is touched by Bob Rouse, and we'll step aside. As we approach the 5-minute mark, Caps lead by 1.
The time to own the 4-door sports car, the car that's outselling all the other imports in its class, is now. Because right now, the luxurious comfort, the sophisticated control, and the sheer power of this vehicle are as close as your nearest Nissan dealer, where a special allocation of Maximas is now in stock. But hurry, because at these year-end prices, they could move even faster out of the showroom than they do out on the road.
Mike Ridley will do the honors for the Capitals here in the offensive zone. Kelly Miller and Stephen Leach up front. Langway and Hatcher on the blue line. Caps clinging to a 1-goal lead with 15:40 left to go here in the third period at the Spectrum. From the drive, Ridley wins it, gets it back to Langway. A drive blocked by the Flyers defense, and it's off in the near boards. Kelly Eklund wraps it around for Murphy. Ridley steps up, gets the puck to Leach. Leach to Ridley. Ridley skating in front. Wrapped it off the side of the net. Ridley gets the puck right back. Murphy skates him out, and Craven feeds it on the right wing for Tocchet. Tocchet backhanding it to Lottle, and Langway with a fine defensive play as play is whistled down.
Be sure to be with DC20 Sports this season for all the Bullets action. With Purvis Ellison in the pivot, the Bullets figure to be much improved as they lay claims on the Eastern Division. Join Mel Proctor and Phil Chenier as they call all the action right here on WDCA TV 20. Opening night is Friday, November 2nd, as the Bullets travel to Miami to take on the Miami Heat, live at 8 p.m.
Face-off just outside the Washington blue line. Sutter and Zezel set for the draw. The puck is dropped. Zezel gets it on the far boards there for Lawler. Comes back to Huffman, who wraps one right on. Mike Liut leaves it there for Tatarnov. He flips it through an opening back down into the neutral zone. This is Sutter getting it back to Kartner on the point. Rink wide. Back to Kartner. Kartner ahead to Mellenby, who clears it off the glass behind the Washington net. It's beat up there by Liut. He takes a hit chip there from Horacek. And he's back into the net. Kartner steers it off of the corner. Tatarnov throws a check at Sutter, tying him up behind the net. And there's a little stick work there from Sutter on Tatarnov, but he doesn't back away. Cleared off the glass, back down into the neutral zone. Huffman to Kartner, who flips a high one into the open corner of the opposite end. The Caps quickly clear it. Up into the crowd. We'll take a break. 14:21 left to go, third period. Caps lead by 1.
And a goal! Kelly Miller!
There is no substitute for extra effort. For the Caps, extra effort means solid results. And solid results are yours at Northern Virginia's Solid Savings Bank, Providence Savings. Providence offers free checking, ATMs that pay you, 6 different CDs, 5 money market plans, and over 40 home and construction loans. That's extra effort in banking. Providence Savings has 10 offices. Stop in today and let their extra effort give you a solid financial future. Providence Savings, your solid choice.
There's a look at the Snyder family. Chairman of the board, Ed Snyder, along with his son Jay, who of course controls the Flyers here right now in Philadelphia, and Ed Snyder's wife on hand here at the Spectrum tonight. Obviously not too pleased with the proceedings, with the Capitals leading with 14:13 left here now in the third period. Yuri Lottle clears it around the boards. Caps doing a great job tonight forechecking in the Flyers zone. Hostek gets it ahead on the right wing. Flyers break out of their own zone. Lacombe and Derek Smith up front here for the Flyers. This offensive line, Flyers fans wondering for a penalty here, but obviously Andy Van Hellemond not impressed. Lacombe is turned around. Rouse clears the zone. Here's Peter Bondra, has it hop off his stick. Shel Samuelson dumps it back into the Washington end. Both teams change on the fly. Dale Hunter on the far boards. Right rips one that is gloved there by Reggett. And he leaves it there for his defense. Murphy ahead to Acton. Trying to feed a long pass to Berube. Caps intercept. Kartner carries it in over the Washington line, but the Caps quickly dump it back into Philadelphia end.
Both teams having a hard time penetrating below the top of either circle. They can't get in there because the defense are grabbing the puck and just keep dumping it out.
Stephen Leach turns away from Pat Murray, and play is whistled down. We'll have a face-off outside the Washington blue line. A lot of hockey fans around the Washington area, and I'm sure a lot of hockey fans in the National Hockey League wondering about the future of Tim Kerr. Tremendous personal loss, personal tragedy, the death of his wife, Kathy, just a little over a week after the birth of their first child together. Well, I'm pleased to report that Paul Holmgren telling me this morning that there's no doubt Tim Kerr will again play hockey. In fact, he'll clear up family matters, might play as early as next Tuesday, and says Paul Holmgren, hockey hopefully will be an escape for Tim Kerr, a class act and a player that you enjoyed playing against.
I sure did. He's a class hockey player, and he's a class guy, and
Again, our sympathies to the Flyer family and specifically to Tim Kerr. On the near boards, backhanded there by Tocchet towards the net. Flyers trying to get something going here, trailing by a goal. Caps doing the job defensively here. Clear the puck to center. Here's Kelly Miller in over the line. Miller up front with Berglund now and Mike Ridley. To Berglund, one-times it and scores. Tim Berglund. That one squirting between the legs of Ken Reggett, and the Capitals with a 4-2 lead. Berglund with a perfect one-timer, and Washington now with a 2-goal lead.
A good play. Ridley looking for the guy in the slot. Soon as Berglund gets it, he shoots it right away. That makes Reggett. He can't come out. He's down on his knees. It rolls between his legs. He looks behind, and it's in the net. But Ridley playing heads up. Kelly Miller had carried into the zone, gave it to Ridley, right to Berglund. His first shift this period goes right off his shoulder into the net.
Tim Berglund has given the Washington Capitals a 2-goal lead, a big goal, his first of the season.
Kelly Miller is fourth. The assist number 11, Tim Berglund, along with number 17, Mike Ridley.
So Kelly Miller gets credit for the goal as he clearly tips the puck off Berglund's stick, and the Capitals lead by 2. Mike Ridley and Berglund drawing assists. 7:33 the time of the goal. Washington now with a 2-goal lead. 12:01 left to go here in the third period. Here's Kelly Miller around the far boards. This is a check from Shell Samuelson. Puck right on. Layut with a save. The drive was fired from the faceoff circle. Mike Ridley getting it to John Druce. Druce now trying to split the defense. Druce with the puck turned around by Shell Samuelson, and Samuelson ends up on his backside. Waddle getting it to Sutter. Sutter in over the line, and offside the call. We'll step aside. Caps lead by 2 with 11:34 left to go here in the third period.
Amtrak is the better way to Atlantic City. Special bonuses add to the fun. Daily service. Call your travel agent or call Amtrak at 1-800-USA-RAIL.
Bye-bye, old boy.
So here's the goal officially for the Washington Capitals. Kelly Miller, his 4th. Berglund draws an assist, and also had an assist to Mike Ridley at 7:33.
Well, yes, he drove to the net, and it just came off his stick. Redirected it past Reggett. Reggett was down and out, hits his stick and goes into the net. But a good play. They formed the triangle. They got the shot away. As soon as Berglund got it on his stick, he shot it at the net. And Kelly Miller, no one around the league to drive to that net. He gets a deflection.
This is the last of 4 straight Patrick Division games for the Washington Capitals. It started last week in New Jersey. And the Caps here tonight with an impressive showing. Here's Derek Smith in front. Steered aside there by Mike Layut, who played very well here for the Capitals in the preseason and has been very sharp here tonight. Michael Pivonka for the Capitals in the neutral zone. Feeding on the right side there for Zezel. Zezel ridden off on the play by Kartner, still able to get the puck ahead to Michael Pivonka. It hopped off his stick and is back in the neutral zone. Kartner, as Druce was dumped right in front of the Washington bench. Play goes right on, and it's flipped in, and Mike Layut steers it around the boards. Bondra misses a check. In the neutral zone, Waddle, who got something going here now, as Tatarnov is tied up by Keith Acton, and play whistled down.
Well, Tatarnov trying to stir it up right off the bat. He took a run at a guy at center ice, came down into his own zone, finished the check on Acton. And Acton, he likes to get his stick up. He likes to get his nose involved in it. Tatarnov stands right up to him. He finishes his check as the puck is shot around the boards, comes off the boards. He starts pushing Acton. They push each other, but he stands up for himself.
Acton throws an elbow at Tatarnov, who does not back off. They say this young Soviet defenseman likes the rough going. And here, coincidental minor penalties. In fact, his coach telling Jack Button before his arrival that we can expect to see that this youngster will throw his body around, maybe not to the extent that he did over in the Soviet Union.
And I'm wondering what he's thinking Keith Acton saying to him. Keith Acton trying to talk to him. He really doesn't know much English right now.
He'll learn quickly.
He sure will.
He'll learn quickly here. Play is underway on the coincidental minor penalties. Acton and Katarnov, 2 each for roughing at 9:17. So welcome to the NHL. Misha, as he likes to be called. It's wrapped around the boards by Mike Ridley. Murphy races to keep it in, is able to do so, then kicks it ahead, but Kevin Hatcher clears it into the neutral zone, carries the puck to Ridley. Ridley circles at his own blue line. Long pass for Kelly Miller. Murphy skating away from him. Hits it ahead to Eklund. Rink-wide pass. Here's Murray Craven. This shot goes way wide. Shot by Tocchet, deflected by Hatcher right on, but Layut with the save. Tocchet gets it again. This time cleared to safety by Rod Langway, who gets it ahead to Kelly Miller, who flips it off into the corner. 9:51 left in regulation time. Caps with a 3-4-2 lead. 2 goals after the Flyers have taken the lead. The Capitals come back to tie it. Caps now with a 2-goal advantage. Here's a shot in front, tipped by Sutter, and holding on there was Mike Layut. Stay tuned. We'll have a break and be back from the Spectrum in Philadelphia.
Nothing beats #1. Nothing beats the king of beers. Nothing beats clean, crisp, and cold. This is the best, and we've got it right here. Yeah. Nothing beats a Bud, yeah, nothing beats a Bud, yeah, nothing beats a Budweiser. Nothing beats a Bud.
Yuri Lotto coming down the ice with a full head of steam. Lawler plays him. Pavanka tries to play him. He steps around both guys, then gets a backhand away. Mike Layut, big catching glove, puts his catching glove down, covers it up, holds it for a face-off.
We've had just 1 goal in the 3rd period. That's scored by the Capitals. Kelly Miller tipping it in front off the shot of Tim Berglund. In fact, if my calculations are right here, after 2 periods, Caps had 16 shots. They have 17 now, so the goal is their only shot of this period.
Right now, Terry Murray just wants no glaring mistakes. Let's not give the Flyers a goal. If they score a goal, make them work for it. Make them make the great play.
Play underway. Here's Sutter turning and fires a shot towards the net. It goes wide. Along the near boards. Cleared back to the point by Kartner. Intercepted by Peter Zezel with a fine defensive play. He, Pavanka, and John Grusin over the line. Along the far boards, a shot right on by Pavanka. Reget's got it. He juggles it and then leaves it there for his defense. Kartner with a long lead pass. Hostek. Here's a shot right on. Deflected in front. Turned around there on the play was Mellanby. And we've got an interference call upcoming. Who's the penalty against? We'll find out. We'll take a break. Stay tuned.
Why do so many people go to Hardee's for breakfast? That's why. Hardee's, all kinds of good stuff.
The Flyers trying to create some scoring chances for themselves. And what they really rely on is going to the net. And when you get in front, Mellanby goes right in front of the net, continues through, knocks Layut down. He's going to the net. He goes into the crease. This year, the referees, they're really watching that crease to make sure the players don't come in, push the goalie. That's an area where they're not allowed to go in. Years past, you could stand in the crease, you'd be bugging the goalies. I think the goalie union came out with this idea that no one is allowed to push a goalie in the crease.
Well, Mellanby sent off to the penalty box. A 2-minute interference call at 10:55, excuse me. So the Caps are back on the power play here, leading 4-2. And the Spectrum crowd not at all appreciative of referee Andy Van Helleman's call. They're letting him know. Here's Calle Johansson at center, wraps it around the boards. Moving up, pinching in on the right side. Zezel gets it back to Hatcher. Skates in off the blue line to Calle Johansson, back to Hatcher. Here's a shot towards the net, scores! Deflected by Peter Zezel in front. Otherwise, Hatcher's got his 3rd goal, and the Washington Capitals with a 5-2 lead and a power play goal. Kevin Hatcher, the opportunist offensively for the Capitals tonight.
Well, yes, they set up. They've got an umbrella working. The Philadelphia Flyers in a box. It goes through. That means there's going to be one guy wide open in front, and it's Peter Zezel. He's not sure if he touched it. He's not sure if it hit his stick. He's going to be looking at his stick, Jeff, and say, hey, guys, here's the mark. Here's the mark on it. That's what I used to do.
You guys
I used to always do that. I said, the mark's right here. Hits his foot right on his foot, goes between his legs.
Well,
and Peter Zezel, excuse me, Jeff, a fan favorite here.
Now, once I was just going to say the same thing. Once a fan favorite, we got to look at it right here. And it definitely was tipped in front. Zezel gets it, as we originally called it. And the Caps now with a 3-goal lead.
I'll have to tell him after the game, Jeff. I don't think I've ever scored a goal like that, have I?
I don't think so. Most of them, as I said earlier on an earlier broadcast, well, I won't have to repeat it. Play underway here in the Washington end. The Flyers now going to start throwing the body around with 8:12 left to go, and they're trailing by 3 goals. Kypreos clears it off the boards, kept in. Murphy getting it to Eklund. Here it is in front. Lawler knocking the Flyer down. Rick Tocchet in front of the net. No penalty call. And again, Van Hellemond hears it from the crowd. The Caps get a power play goal, but this time looking for a penalty call on the Capitals. Andy Van Hellemond will have no part of it. Both teams change on the fly. Tocchet back in his own zone. Caps lead by 2. 7:39 left to go. Hunter takes a hit in the open ice. Feeding it on the left wing for Bondra, and it was too far. Murphy clearing it to Karkner. Off the boards to Mellanby. Flyers come out of their own end. Sutter. Chased there by a Capital defender, Peter Bondra. Kicked ahead by Tatarnov. Here they move right in. Horacek, and he couldn't get a shot away from close range. Backhanded by Huffman. Behind the net, Liut steers it around the boards. He is hit as he comes out of the net. Tatarnov now, as Mellanby and Hatcher get sticks up behind the net, way away from the play. Oh, Kevin Hatcher gets a couple of quick shots, and the play still going at the other end, and Mellanby comes back, but Hatcher got the first few in. Couple of heavyweights going here.
Well, Kevin Hatcher doing it all. Making some great plays, getting in there against Mellanby and working out.
We'll have the calls for you, penalty-wise. Stay tuned. We'll be back after this.
What would you do if someone took away your yellow pages?
My yellow pages?
The CNP telephone yellow pages?
You and what army? No.
People want to hold on to the book with more choices.
Hey, no. My yellow pages don't even think about it.
It's the book 9 out of 10 use, and when asked to choose, most people won't let go. The genuine CNP telephone yellow pages. No other book can match it. A Bell Atlantic company.
Well, referee Andy Van Hellemond has sorted out the penalties. This happening way behind the action.
Well, yes, Kevin Hatcher just working in the corner, and Hatcher not too happy the way Mellanby hit Liut. Mellanby actually upset with Liut, but Hatcher steps in, a little bit of jostling, holding on to each other's stick. Then they said, let's go, and Kevin Hatcher got the first few in.
Kevin really doing well in this one, and, well, he's done well in all departments tonight. Let's sum it up that way. 2 and 5 to both Hatcher and Mellanby. 2 for high sticking, 5 for fighting at 13:04. So the penalties wash out with 6:56 left to go here in the third period. Hatcher's got a couple of goals, and he also has 2 assists tonight. I'll make that 1 assist because the goal later credited to Hatcher. You can scratch that assist. The first assist. So the Capitals with a 5-2 lead with 6:56 left to go. And a face-off outside the blue line. Zezel and Acton doing the honors. This is Lottle. Cross ice for Kjell Samuelsson, who clears it into the neutral zone. Zezel steps up, tries to fire it back in. Goes off his skate for Ruby. Moving in for the Flyers. Acton Steps aside from Bob Rouse. Cleared off the board. Shell Samuelson. To Berube in the corner. Calle Johansson in there to help out. Acton throws an elbow high. Calle Johansson, who's roughed up there by Berube as well. The Caps come back, and a shot by Druce from the right faceoff circle. Ad save made by Reggett. Back come the Flyers. They'll definitely go to the man here now with 6:15 left to go in the third period, trailing by 3 goals. Through the goal mouth. Lottle pinching in, unable to get a shot away or redirect the pass. Calle Johansson wraps it off the glass. Samuelson will have to regroup the Flyers in the neutral zone for Derek Smith on the left wing. Zezel for the Caps clears it off the boards. Flyers 4-0 here at the Spectrum prior to tonight's hockey game. And they wanted to reestablish home ice advantage. They've won 6 straight, but are trailing here. Waller and Lacombe fight for possession along the boards. Hostek takes a terrific hit from Tatarnov behind the net. This Soviet likes to mix it up. That is what we were told coming in, and just threw a great check to level one of the Flyers behind the Washington net.
He's very strong on his skate. He doesn't fall down easy. He's known to be very strong, and when you hit somebody like he hit Hostek, he went right down.
Here's Huffman. Tries to clear it in the Washington zone. Intercepted there by Mike Ridley. Ridley all by himself. Chased off by Kelly Eklund, but dumps it off into the corner nonetheless. Flyers will regroup in their own zone. Both teams change on the fly with 4:57 left to go. Caps with a comfortable 3-goal lead. The Flyers dump it in. Calle Johansson. Long lead pass for Nick Kyprios on the left wing. He's got Berglund on his right. Off Murphy. Kyprios races to the bench. Caps change on the fly again. Tocchet off the skate of Ridley. Eklund racing after it, but it's cleared by Calle Johansson to Mike Ridley back down into the Flyer end.
The Capitals just playing very smart hockey. Not giving the Flyers a chance to get it going or to get their forechecking going. Keep turning the puck over and just dumping it into the Flyers zone.
Here's Pelle Eklund now from the red center line. Drops a pass for Tocchet. Tocchet tries to go around the Capitals defense. Gets his stick up high. Waller and Tatarnov on the blue line now. Here's Craven feeding it to Tocchet. Tocchet with one hand trying to move Tatarnov off the puck, but the Caps intercept again, and Lawler clears it off the boards and back down to the Flyer end. 4:01 left here now as Reggett wraps it ahead to Lottle. Bondra comes out for the Washington Capitals. Here's Lawler. Dumped on the play by Sutter. Tippett steps out onto the ice for the Capitals. And play whistled down. We'll take a break. 3:47 left to go. Caps lead by 3.
At Nissan, we realize the truck owners are the kind of people who like to go to extremes. That's why even our standard 4x2 truck has the biggest cargo volume and the most powerful standard engine of any leading truck in its class. After all, you don't have to go off-road to need a tough truck. Save up to $1,200 on a standard Nissan 4x2. Tough truck, great price.
Face-off just outside the Philadelphia blue line. Keith Acton and Hunter do the honors. Hunter wins the draw, gets it back to Calle Johansson, who steps in over the blue line, fires a shot that's blocked by Huffman. Steered ahead, but not out. Hartner now. From the side of his own net, between the face-off circles, feeds it ahead to Zezel. Or rather, Acton. Puck dumped into the Flyer zone, or Cap zone, and here's Huffman stepping up. Offside the call with 1-2 Flyers in over the blue line, thus the offside call.
The Capitals return home from this 5-game road trip on Friday night, November 2nd, as Wayne Gretzky, number 99, and the Los Angeles Kings make their first Capitol Center appearance as they take on the Caps at 8:05 p.m. Plenty of tickets are available by calling phone charge at 432-0200. Operators are on duty till 10 p.m. After the game, all women in attendance will be able to shoot for a Thanksgiving turkey, courtesy of Giant Food.
And if there's time, Craig Laughlin will give each of the ladies a tip on how to shoot for that turkey.
I've tried that before. They used to bring out those boards where you try to shoot on.
Right.
I was just fortunate to hit the board, let alone.
At least you're honest. I'll give you marks for that. From the face-off, won by the Capitals. Trying to get something going here in the offensive zone. Kartner has it for the Flyers. Skates it to center. Flips it into the Washington end. Wrapped around the boards. Hunter loses it there to Sutter. Tatarnov back on that blue line with Kevin Hatcher off for the rest of the game with the 7 minutes of penalties. We're seeing a lot of Tatarnov here in the closing minutes of the game, and he has played very well. NHL debut a success. Tatarnov now being challenged by Sutter. One of the Capitals comes in to defend for him, but Tatarnov wants to get right at Sutter. He's not afraid.
He's getting right involved there, and Sutter and him have been going at it in the corners. Tatarnov went right after him. He wants to go. Let's go.
You made an interesting observation before this hockey game off the air, talking about Tatarnov having to make his NHL debut and maybe one of the toughest rinks in the NHL here in Philadelphia. Obviously, we've got to give him more than passing grades. He's not backed off at all.
No, he's played excellent hockey, and this is a tough rink to come into because you know the Flyers are going to start picking on him right off the bat. But once he stands up to the Flyers and many of the other teams in the NHL, he's going to get a lot more room out there.
Well, he gets the penalty there, and the Philadelphia Flyers will have the power play. So Tatarnov, the aggressor.
Yes, well, he goes. He's trying to hook and hold Sutter, and he takes Sutter right into the boards. Andy Van Hellemond standing right there, gives him a little punch. Van Hellemond gives him the penalty. But Tatarnov playing that North American hockey right away. He's probably a little nervous playing in this small rink because, you know, the European rink's much bigger. You don't have as much time in this rink. But he's just dishing the puck off, playing very intelligent hockey.
I think he knows what the Flyers legend and the toughness this team has. I think he's impressed.
Yes, Jeff, and I think he's heard of it back home in Czechoslovakia, in Russia, because he knows Philadelphia Flyers, they've won the Stanley Cups. They pay attention to the NHL over there.
Here's a shot directed towards the net. Tocchet was standing there waiting for it from Lotto, but the Capitals quickly intercept and fire it down the ice. 2:21 left to go. Murray Craven from center. In over the line. Mike Ridley backhands it, but not out. Moving up there is Murphy, pinching right in. A shot off the glove of Mike Liut and ends up behind the net. Mike Ridley finds an opening and clears it the length of the ice. Ken Reggett quickly gets it ahead. Caps change the defensive unit here. 1:56 left to go in regulation time. 57 seconds in the penalty to Tatarnov. Lotto takes a hit there from Berglund. This is Calle Johansson feeding Berglund, who's all by himself and over the blue line. Winds up with a shot blocked by Murphy. 1:40 left in regulation time. Here in the third period, Caps lead 5-2, and a total of 40 seconds now on the penalty to Tatarnov. Acton on the right wing for Sutter. Ridden off on the play by Langley. Tipped ahead by Mike Liut. As we see Murray flip it the length of the ice, and Reggett comes down for Hoffman. 1:14 left. 17 seconds in the penalty. Here to head into the corner here. Sutter has it knocked off his stick by Lawler. Flyers control. 7 seconds left now in the minor penalty to Tatarnov. Less than a minute to go in the hockey game. Rouse ridden off on the play. Puck comes loose to Tippett. He wraps it off the boards. Tatarnov's back out. 2-on-1. Here's John Druce all by himself. Scores! John Druce! And it is 6-2.
What a shot.
And I think Reggett was expecting a pass to Tatarnov. And a quick shot by John Druce. Caps have iced it. They lead 6-2.
Well, yes, John Druce, he moves right in. They're trying to play him, and Reggett doesn't come out far enough. He's thinking he's going to Tatarnov on the far side, but he just goes in alone, puts it in the top corner. Great shot.
So the Capitals get a goal from John Druce, who's the Caps' leading scorer here in points coming into tonight's hockey game. For Druce, that is goal number 5.
Well, Kerry Hoffman, he was out on the ice. Tatarnov came out of the penalty box, formed a 2-on-1. Druce just walked down the middle. Kerry Hoffman not sure who to go to. Druce walks into the circle, puts it in.
All right, here we go. Berube and Stephen Leach. This is senseless here. The Flyers have lost on the scoreboard. They're just looking for a win in any way they can get it.
Well, he's just out there to stir something up. to have the Capitals think of the Flyers next game they play them. That's the only reason he started that. Right off the faceoff, he went with Stephen Leach.
We've been saying all night long that the Flyers have become more of a disciplined hockey club. What's the sense of that? 40 seconds left in the hockey game, really?
Well, I think the big thing is it's a lot of frustration. The Caps have played a solid hockey game. All facets of their game have been very well played. I think the Flyers, when you win 6 in a row, you get pretty cocky, you get pretty up on yourself, so you want to come out there and form something.
You're watching Washington Capitals hockey on WDCA TV.
You're watching DC20 WDCA TV in Washington, D.C. The fun starts here.
There's Leach. Berube going at it. Berube grabbed him right off the face-off. They wanted to go right away, and Berube was sent out there for that reason, to start something up. And what that is, it's a thing in hockey. You think of them next time you play them, but it really doesn't have any effect on the outcome of the game.
I'll give Stephen Leach a lot of credit, not backing down from Berube. And where it counts the most on the scoreboard, the Caps lead 6-2 with 26 seconds left to go. Great effort to start a 5-game road trip for the Capitals, coming here into the Spectrum, beating the Flyers, who lose for the first time on home ice, and end convincingly a 6-game winning streak. Here's Kypreos from the right side. Pad save made by Regetz, steered ahead. Caps intercept with 5 seconds left. Zezel directs it towards the net. Murphy is tying up one of the Capitals. It's Michael Pivonka as the horn goes to end the hockey game. The Washington Capitals, behind Mike Leahy, who had a solid game in goal, defeat the Philadelphia Flyers by a score of 6-2. Kevin Hatcher scoring twice. The Capitals getting a shorthanded goal from Hatcher, and I think that really broke the backs of the Philadelphia Flyers tonight.
Oh, it definitely did. It really changed the game around. As soon as Kevin Hatcher scored that shorthanded goal, the Capitals just had an uplift on the bench. Everybody was saying, come on, guys, we can do it, we can do it. Sure enough, they go out and get a couple more goals, then put it away in the third period.
Well, terrific way to start the road trip, and the Caps' next game right back here on WDCA Thursday in Chicago at the stadium. We'll be back with our post-game show and a visit with Kevin Hatcher. Stay tuned.
When it comes to watching 21 live and exclusive Capitals away games this season,
there's no competition.
You can spend thousands, get caught in delays, and spend hours in travel time. Or tune in to DC20.
There's no competition.
Tune in Thursday night at 8:30 as the Caps take on the Chicago Blackhawks live. When it comes to DC20 sports, there's no competition. DC20 WDCA TV.
How do you make an El Grande